folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis.
And Rivkah.
Thanks for stopping by to watch. How's everyone doing tonight? Hopefully you had a wonderful Saturday, Shabbat, Grandma Ginger, and we have Bama J and Chris Chapman. Yes, good evening, Remnant. You're exactly right. Lots of people. My mic sounds weird. Is it sound weird to you, or is it just me? Something sounds weird. I don't know. Sounds like it's off. Anyways, how's everyone doing tonight? Lots of people in the chat. Let's go. I haven't even checked to see on Rumble. Oh, there we go. There we go. Gunner Mom, Redfish are in the chat in Rumble. Redfish is from Spring, Texas.
I know where that is.
So, well, interesting week, like always. We had some rain today, which we were getting into that drought condition here. Not too bad. Like if you look on the Missouri map for the drought condition.
Just trying to fix my sweater. Sorry.
It's all right. That's all right. If you looked on the Missouri map for drought conditions, there was this little kind of white sliver in the Ozarks, and we were in that. So we weren't too bad here. But, we had over 100-degree temperatures the last couple of days, and that just kind of did it in. When you got that kind of sun, it just cooked everything, including us. But we had some rain today. Not a lot, but definitely enough to throw a little moisture in the ground, knock the dust off of everything. So that was pleasant. And it's not too bad out. It wasn't too bad after that. It kind of helped cool it off a little bit. Yep.
Sorry
about what?
Being so quiet.
I know. Over here banging on the mic and not talking.
I'm discombobulated and you're all together.
No.
You're used to this.
Oh, you just kind of
you do it every day, right?
Just go with it, I saw that Moose Run was in the house somewhere. I saw
somebody said
comment.
Moose Run Coffee rules.
Yes. And speaking of Moose Run Coffee, he emailed or texted me. Yeah. He texted me a few days ago, and he's running a special just for you, the Prepared Homestead listeners. If you order coffee from him and you use the discount code TPH23, that's TPH23. In fact, I'm going to type it out in there. TPH. If you use that code TPH23, you'll get 10% off. But also, he's doing a fundraiser for Grindstone Ministries. He has a special blend called the Grindstone Blend roast, and a portion of the proceeds or whatever from purchasing that goes to that. And that's actually what we're drinking tonight. We're drinking Moose Run coffee tonight.
The light roast.
Mm-hmm. I like, some people are real hard.
I like the blonde, I think.
Best. Some people are like dead set on a particular roast. I like trying different roasts of a particular bean. And I bet Moose Run, if you're in here, you could probably agree with this, I guess, because you're a coffee connoisseur too. Each bean has its own flavor notes. Mm-hmm. Where depending on where it's grown, the altitude, the soil, all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of like wine. I'm not a wine guy. I don't like wine at all. I guess I just don't have enough class or something. I don't know, enough culture. But anyways, with coffee, you have all these different flavor notes in it, and you get different flavor notes when you roast it a different way. So when I roast my own coffee, if I get a new type of bean in, I'll do that. I'll do like a darker roast, a medium, and a light roast, just to kind of see the different flavor notes of the different roasts of that coffee. So this one is light roast,
but it's not snobby to like a certain roast, right? Like
no, it's not. It's
like
not.
Some people say I'm a coffee snob, and maybe I am, but because we only drink like organic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's snobby. I think it's being awake to the agenda, right? Like it's one of the dirtiest crops that there is.
There is, yeah. And that's the good thing with Moose Run Coffee. It's all organic.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to mooseruncoffee.com, mooseruncoffee.com, you use the promo code or discount code TPH23, you get like 10% off. and it's really good. And they're just they're an amazing family. We personally know them. We see them at least once a month, and they have beautiful little girls and just sweet family. And it's a good place to spend your money if you're wanting to buy coffee versus some big liberal communist type coffee company that you have no idea where your money's going. Maybe they're not all liberal, but a lot of them are.
Or maybe it looks like it is, but it like caved to the cupcake agenda.
Yeah, or they're
you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, they're flying the pride flag last month or something like that. You won't get that from Moose Run Coffee. I knew he was a good guy the first time he come to the meeting. He showed up at the meeting and he was packing, pistol outside the waistband, like not concealed, open carry.
Yeah.
I was like, I like that guy.
Constitutional
open carry. It's like, I like that guy. So
life is short, drink good coffee. That should be a t-shirt.
Man, you should make a t-shirt of that, Craig. You could. I'd buy one. I've got the news brief for the week. It is shorter than it's ever been, not because there was less stuff in it, but honestly, I was really busy this week and I didn't spend as much time procuring news stuff. I'm sure there's a whole lot more. There's definitely a lot in here, but it's the shortest one. Plus, it just takes a while. So,
and it was a busy week.
It was a busy week.
We say that every week, but no, really, like this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I was on my feet for 14 hours, I think, of each day at least.
Right.
How long were we there? On Sunday?
On Sunday, we were there about 14 and a half hours.
Yeah. On our feet. We don't sit and we hardly
on concrete
eat. It's
floors
crazy.
For 14 and a half hours. We may have sat down.
And then it got so hot. So that drains you when you're out in the sun. And you had stuff to do in the sun this week.
Yeah, I mowed all week. I have a mowing job that I do, and it's a big one. It takes a few days to do it, and doing that, and the heat wasn't really the worst part of it.
I think it's only when you're really in the direct sunlight.
Yeah, it was the dust because it was so dry. The grass that I was mowing, it was just so dry.
And you got super hot yesterday.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I didn't feel too good yesterday. I got that kind of sick feeling, I've been out too long, too much heat, getting kind of sick, but it was.
You should do the creek nasty videos on days.
I'm sure most of them
hot.
saw that creek video where I just literally dunked myself in the creek. This microphone.
It's echoey, both of them.
It is. I don't know what I've done different. Nothing. I didn't think I messed with the soundboard at all, but it is getting some kind of reverb. Is that it? Maybe? I don't know. Is that better?
That sounds better.
That sounds a little bit better. So maybe that was it. Anyways, so yeah.
Somebody says that we should post more videos with that big fluffy polar bear doggy we have. We have three of those.
Three, yeah.
But she's our newest.
She's the baby.
She is our.
Is she 6 months yet?
If not, she's coming up on it.
Yeah, she's maybe 6 months. So
we got her from a good friend, and so we know her mommy and daddy. She's got the best temperament. She's awesome, but she's kind of our porch dog, right?
Yeah.
She just
hangs under the porch.
Yeah, she likes because it's shady, under there. But she just she has free reign of the property, and she's always a hot mess. But she loves the creek. She loves the creek. But Pyrenees love to be in the water in the summer.
She'll go down to the creek, get soaking wet, and then crawl under the porch and roll in the dirt, and she'll come out and she'll just be like clumps of dirt and mud, and she's filthy. But
sometimes she gets in the swampy when it's wet, right? The swampy marshy area of our property.
Yeah, we have a little swamp in the
she
back part
stinks
of it.
To high heavens, but she's having fun. It's funny. The children are like, maybe we should bathe her again, because when we bathe her, we let her come in for a little bit. And I was like, why? She's just gonna go back out there and get dirty again.
She's 75% Pyrenees and 25% Commodore. So, but she's a sweet dog. She's still learning her manners. She tries to jump up on.
She's a baby,
but she's a baby, and if you know anything about Pyrenees, the
first 2 years are a little rough.
Little rough. There are lots of energy.
But she's got a wonderful disposition and temperament.
She's great with all the the chickens and the ducks and everything. In fact, a lot of times she'll sleep like right in the middle of them. If they're eating or anything, she's doing really good at guarding them. And she's not.
And she didn't like being out here in the field with the boys.
Yeah, because we have sheep and goats.
Yeah.
And so we have we have 2 males, full grown males that are out there. And she
likes being around us.
Yeah, she did not like it. And it wasn't because of the sheep or the goats or the boy. I mean, that wasn't. She just didn't want to be out there. She liked being around all of us. So, so she's the porch dog and
the baby.
And she's good. She's a good barker. You know, someone pulls up or someone drives by. Not that happens very often, but she'll let you know.
And the little red dog, she does that too.
Yeah.
Our little poodle. Yeah, my poodle. She's mine. But she hangs out with you and loves you too.
I know. She's a mess.
She likes coming out to the office with Dad.
Well, let's see. We got a whole bunch of people.
And down to the creek. Poodles love water too.
Lantern of Liberty is in Central California, said it was 110 today. Good gracious. Redfish says do a live stream direct from sitting in the creek. I might. The problem is the internet signal, because it's down in a low area, so the internet signal that's always the thing around here. All right, let's see. Anything? The peace flag, that was curious.
He's asked 3 times.
What? The peace flag.
Your peace flag.
I don't know any.
Is it on your hat?
This is a Sons of Liberty flag. So that's what that is. But that may be what he's talking about. He may be just calling it a peace flag. I don't know.
Is all that land you hike on yours?
No, not all of it. No.
It's a secret where we go.
Yes. Very classified. Oh. It was 60 degrees at 9,000 foot altitude. Well, that would be nice. That would be like a cool spring day here, just about. Remember this 4th of July, how easily Americans have given up their freedom for taxation and regulation with government control. Absolutely.
We fought a lot harder for a lot less.
Yeah. Garden is doing pretty good. It's definitely slowed down because of all the heat and the dry. But I'm hoping and I just walked out there this afternoon. There's a bunch of tomatoes that'll be ready to pick in the next couple of days. We've already been picking beans and stuff like that. But the rain, and there's more rain calling for tonight. Doesn't look like a lot, but still looks like we probably will get it. And then there's about 3 or 4 days next week that they're calling for rain. So hopefully out of 3 or 4 days, at least one of them will be rain. And there's no like 100-degree weather in the forecast for a while. Hopefully we won't have that for a while.
Where can people get a hat like yours? Somebody's asking.
Well, this is just, hey, you love that Velcro sound, I bet.
So you can get the patches. You can't tell where I got. Well, this is different. Did you get yours?
No, this was the same place.
Gadsden and Culpeper?
Yeah.
Culpeper? I said Culpeper.
Yeah, Gadsden and Culpeper is a website. They sell these kind of patches. And then this is just is
that the same place?
Yeah, this is just an old condor hat, and it's nasty. It's well used, but this is just a condor hat. But
you tried a new place recently.
I did. I tried a new place because it was on sale, and it's an okay hat.
And our buddies over at Sanctified Supply.
Supply company.
They're gonna have.
I can't do this in reverse. Ooh, I think I got it. Sanctified Supply Company, I think, might someday be coming out with stuff like this. I'm not sure.
It's off.
Oh, well, whatever.
Well, undo it so you don't look silly. I'm a little OCD. Okay. It's my fault, not not yours. There.
All right, there we go.
Now you're perfect.
One of our boys, whenever I'm not looking, he tries to turn all of my patches upside down on my hat. So
even when you are looking.
Yeah, that's true. But anyways, I guess we can get on to the news recap for the week. It's been a crazy week. If you haven't been watching in the last few days, France is just going crazy.
Somebody said just now, France is melting.
Yeah, France is absolutely melting. So it's it's a lot to keep up on, but they're having massive riots. What's
the rig behind you? Somebody's asking.
Oh, That
your
that's
radio.
a Yaesu was it a 450?
Oh no. Sorry. I tried to rescue.
That's I bet that
it's
sounded,
one of those.
I bet that sounded really good on their end. That's a Yaesu 450D. So anyway, so France, yeah, there's a lot of migrants that are rioting and protesting in the streets, massive burning. I mean, we're talking like not like this is insurrection revolution. And probably not in a good way when you look at the things that they're doing. This isn't like how we look at a revolution. This is definitely, I think, more than just riots. Multiple buildings. In fact, it's in the news recap. There's been hundreds of buildings burned, hundreds of cars burned. Many people have injured, police officers. I mean, it's crazy the stuff that's going on. They're looting like nuts over there. They're driving like semi trucks and bulldozers through buildings and burning them. I mean, it's absolutely insane what's going on, that we're watching this happen. And yeah, it's the second French Revolution probably. But here's the thing: it looks like a big bulk of it is from Middle Eastern refugees. Which has been a thing we've all known about this for several years. That France has had very, very open door policies to that. And well, now here's possibly the repercussions of that. But remind us what your ham radio is back there. That's a Yaesu 450D. Pretty good. It covers all the HF all the way up to 6 meter, 100-watt transceiver. It's considered a mobile, but you can also use it as a base, which is what I use it for, as a base. But I just stuck it up there just to, I mean, it actually sits over here on the other side of the cameras, which you're not going to see, is a desk, and there's a whole Radio Shack kind of radio rig set up there for the mobile radios and the base, and that usually sits over there. But anyways,
someone can't figure out how to get you live on Rumble. Can you explain that trick? Because I think a lot of people, like, first you have to join. Like, that's important.
I think, you have to join to watch the live streams on Rumble. I'm not 100%.
No, to comment.
Oh, to comment. Yeah, to comment on Rumble, you have to sign up.
Join and then confirm your address.
Yeah.
But to watch it, you just can go
to click on it to watch it.
Yeah, you can just get on Rumble and search for your channel, right?
Yep. All right. Weekly news recap.
Don't hit me with that. Man. The paper cut in the eye.
I know.
You ever had one of those?
Yeah, not in the eye. Man, that'd be bad.
I have. I've cut myself. Just from writing all those papers last minute.
Paper cut in the eye. Oof. All right. Number 1. China supports Russia in Wagner uprising. I know that's kind of old news, the whole Wagner thing, but still, they pledged their support to Russia, to Putin on that. U.S. intelligence claims they knew about the Prigozhin's plan 2 weeks before it happened. Oh, of course they did. Big surprise. They always know. They always claim that they knew what was going to happen after it happened. Like some guy shoots up a shopping mall and they're like, well, we knew about this guy. He was on our radar. We've been watching him. I think a lot of times
it's almost like they tell on themselves.
It's either that or they're trying to keep their legitimacy. Like a 5th grader on the playground. Like, yeah. Well, I knew that too. I know that too. Yeah. I don't know if maybe it's that.
But I don't see how this could serve them at all. Oh, well, we knew about this beforehand. Yeah, but we led you on for so many days.
He knew about it because we were paying him. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We let you believe that we didn't.
Right. All right. Yeah. U.S. Redfish and Rumble says U.S. intelligence. That's an oxymoron.
Somebody, Quest Conquest says, just like they knew about the Chinese spy balloons.
Yeah, exactly. Number 3, North Korea issues warning that Korean peninsula is on the verge of nuclear war. Number 4, BlackRock CEO says they will no longer use the term ESG. It doesn't mean that they're no longer going to be doing the ESG. They're just going to, they're going to change the name of it. They're going to repackage it. It'll be something new, social credit score system, I'm sure. Germany is deploying 4,000 troops to Lithuania. 9 cats now have died in Poland due to H5N1 bird flu. It's spreading to mammals, and it's spreading to mammals that live very close to humans. So
prepare for the cupcake.
Yeah, prepare for the next one.
The cupcake.
Yes, the cupcake. U.S. to send another $500 million in military aid to Ukraine. Biden states that the U.S. was not involved in the attempted Russian coup. And we should believe that, because out of every person in any kind of public office, in the public period, I don't know if there's a more honest person out there than Joe Biden. I mean,
keep a straight face. Who can do it the longest?
Anyways, Russia intercepts 2 British fighter jets over the Black Sea and turns them away. Swiss National Bank to launch wholesale digital currency pilot program. Iranian president offers Putin full support. FDIC documents mistakenly released show $13 billion in Silicon Valley Bank bailout went to back up 10 Chinese-owned accounts. For the first time in 20 years, cases of malaria are reported in Texas and Florida. HSBC Bank says that the U.S. economy will enter a recession by the year's end. Yeah.
Just real quick with that malaria stuff, you know, there hasn't been any reported in how long? How
20
long
years. About 20 years.
And someone just released recently.
I know. but now,
some. Okay.
Now the fact checkers this week, the fact checkers this week said that it was not due to Bill Gates.
It's just a coincidence.
Genetically mutated mosquitoes that they've been releasing in Texas and Florida. So
it's a coincidence.
The fact checker says that you're just some kind of conspiracy person. So don't go down that road.
How dare you try to put pieces together and make sense of anything?
The fact checker said that that's not right. To quit being, listening to that kind of silliness. Quit trying to use your brain. Just drool.
In case you didn't know, you should look that up. Just in case,
get back on TikTok and quit thinking. Let's see, where was I? I think I'll read this again. HSBC Bank says the U.S. economy will enter a recession by the year's end. The Department of Justice report released stating Jeffrey Epstein's death was a suicide without any outside assistance. So again, with you conspiracy people, the Department of Justice, the most honorable, upstanding, squeaky clean government agency that ever existed, has recently released a report saying that Jeffrey Epstein died of suicide. There was no outside interference that caused his death. So just stop it, people.
And also,
I don't think he's actually dead myself. That's my conspiracy.
Well, there was that whole transfer of money, and nobody knows where it went, and
that's just my opinion.
And we can't find the video.
Yeah. Whoa, that microphone's hot. There, I can hear myself better, and it's not quite as echoey.
But maybe it's not like the conspiracies. Somebody else mentioned earlier when we were talking about just like this, and just like the Titan.
Yeah.
It was 3 days before they said, "Oh, we knew that."
Oh, we know all about that.
And then somebody else said, "Our government went from experimenting on the Tuskegee Airmen to experimenting on its entire population."
Mm-hmm.
So there's that too, the Tuskegee.
The Russian defense minister meets with Cuban counterpart. Thought that was interesting. Thought I'd throw it in there. Because China's also been meeting with Cuba and, talking about building another or new base down there. Taiwan detects 2 Russian warships off their coast. Zelensky states that there will be no election until the war is over. I wonder if Biden would get away with that next in 2024. We're at World War III with China and Russia. There's not going to be any elections. Michigan State House. Listen to this one, guys. If you haven't heard this, Michigan State House passed a bill making using the wrong pronouns hate speech and a felony. A hate speech and a felony. So if you address someone with the wrong pronouns, you can be sent to prison as a felon and fined up to $10,000 for using the wrong pronouns. Why are people still living in that state is beyond me. White House announces that Biden is now using a CPAP machine for sleep apnea. I mean, you probably all saw that with and like I said in my video this past week, because I was talking about it, in case you missed that one, I don't have a problem with him using a CPAP. That, to me, that doesn't indicate that he is unfit for office. There's a lot of young people, and yes, a lot of people that are overweight or elderly have it, but there's a lot of younger, healthy, fit people that use a CPAP machine. That in itself is not enough for me to say someone is unfit. But the fact that they let him out there with him still having the straps indentions on his face and not doing anything, either it was done on purpose so that the media would see it, or he just woke up, or they're just really that incapable of running. They're that, stupid. Because, I mean, he's supposed to have people all around him making sure everything's just perfect, handlers and stuff. And here he is walking out with these, straps where he just woke up and the CPAP is on his face. I have a whole
conspiracy about that.
Oh, too. Yeah. Oh, brother.
We don't have to talk about it right now. I think it's intentional.
Yeah, I think it was.
They want us to want him out, right? And it has to be so overtly obvious and bad. That's what I think.
I have a thought that I'll
usher in
once I get done with this. I was going to bring something up that goes along the line with that. 130 of the world's countries are now pursuing central bank digital currencies. So that's a lot, folks. It's coming sooner than you think. The United States close to approving sending long-range ATACM missile systems to Ukraine. So these are long-range missile systems. Up to now, we've only sent short-range defensive type of things. These would be considered offensive missile systems. U.S. Supreme Court rules that affirmative action in college admissions is unconstitutional. Of course, a lot of minds exploded this past week saying that, hey, you've got this Asian kid that's, super genius, that's got like a GPA of like 1 million. And then you've got a black kid over here that you're, if you looked at the Harvard, the demographics of Harvard students now, it was something like almost 50% of them are black, and then like
it was like 47%.
47, yeah. And then a huge number, like 30-some% were Hispanic, right. And then a small number was Asian, a small number was white. And the case was based on these Asian students that were their test scores, everything was like off the charts of all these other people, and they were denied. Like, they met everything that you could possibly meet to get into Harvard, and they didn't get it.
Over and above.
Yeah, over and above. And they let people into Harvard that was their scores and everything was way lower. So affirmative action, which you've all known is unconstitutional. It's one of those things, like, how in the world did that ever get passed? How in the world did that ever happen?
The same way that all the taxation.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, it's... Yeah.
The illegal unconstitutional income tax that the income tax amendment was never actually really passed officially. U.S. Supreme Court rules that Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is unconstitutional. So that's gotten shot down. He says that they're going to try to work around it, and they're going to try to, who?
You and me, because we have black walls.
Oh, our Bible doctrine is witchcraft because we have black walls?
Yeah. Maybe you should come to a meeting.
Oh my goodness. Is that really what they're saying?
It's not biblical to accuse people of things that you're not sure of, right?
What?
Yeah, it was up there. I didn't say anything because you're in the middle of delivering your stuff, but
controlled opposition always show who they are with their signs and symbols. Well, we have a black
your
shofar
back there.
It's black because it's much easier to control the lighting and everything. You don't have all the glare and stuff.
You don't owe anybody.
Oh my goodness!
It's just silly.
My racist black walls. Oh my word. Okay.
You can move along. You don't have to
Some
stay
people
here.
Are just crazy.
And you are welcome to come to a meeting to determine for yourself.
I said that the King James Version is the worst version. I have a box over here with over 100 King James Version Bibles that I buy really cheap and hand out for free.
It's not your favorite version.
It's not my favorite version. I don't think it's perfect. There's a lot of no version of the Bible is perfect. But I've certainly
especially
never said
considering
it's the
it
worst.
was translated from multiple languages before it was English. I don't know.
Funny. Yeah, someone says, well, then how come the cover of the Bible is black? I guess that's bad too. That must be witchcraft. Oh man. I said that to Rumble chat. No, I did not. I said that I don't think it's that great. I don't think that it's that special. And that doesn't mean that the people that do think it's special is wrong. I just, when you dig into it, there's a lot of inconsistencies in the King James Version.
And when you don't
But
lie,
that doesn't mean,
but really it doesn't
mean I don't read it. I still read it.
It means
I have several versions of the Bible.
But
right?
It's all right. When you don't lie, you don't have anything to hide. So, if you'd like to talk about why you think that, maybe
Bill, you said that I'm witchcraft because I have black walls. So, oh, goodness gracious. Anyways, moving on. I don't have time for that nonsense. I don't have to answer to anyone. There's enough people that knows me personally that knows who I am personally. Riots intensify in France due to police shooting. That's how it all started, was a police shooting. Biden administration considers sending cluster bombs that are banned in over 120 countries to Ukraine. Wow. Cyber attack knocks out Russian military satellite communications. United States to sell $440 million in arms to Taiwan. Riots in France being primarily conducted by immigrants. Dozens of buildings, vehicles, and public transportation have been destroyed due to the riots in France as the crisis is spreading to multiple cities. Argentina to allow commercial bank accounts to hold Chinese yuan. Poland has requested the United States nuclear weapons to be deployed along their border. The IRS, get this one. This one's for all you cryptocurrency people out there. Pay attention to this one. The IRS has ordered Kraken, which is the third largest cryptocurrency exchange, to turn over all of its users' information. So if you have any accounts in Kraken, the IRS is going to have it. Ethiopia has applied to join BRICS. A lot of people think that's not a big deal. Ethiopia, you probably remember Ethiopia from back in the 80s and into the 90s. Ethiopia is now one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. They're not like it was. I mean, there's still problems there, but that's the
country that our parents used to tell us to finish the food.
Yeah. There's children in Ethiopia starving. It was. They went through a famine. It was bad. Yeah. But don't think that Ethiopia, they're a bustling, growing economy. Flyover states. Okay. Rioters in France have attacked, and when I put this down, this was hours ago, so I'm sure it's worse than that now, but I was trying to come up with some numbers. Rioters in France have attacked 41 police stations, have set over 2,500 fires, 1,300 vehicle fires, 234 building fires. Over 40,000 police have been deployed. Rioters are now using automatic weapons against police and civilians. There's videos of that, and several dozen police officers have been injured. And then last but not least, Canada's largest port has gone on strike. So the largest port, it's their Pacific port, has gone on strike, and expect to see some problems there. Expect to see problems. There's 7,000 employees at that port. So yeah, that's a big.
So earlier, I only wrote down one comment. So Orange to Sweet said terrible that they have he or she has terrible headaches because of the strong smelling smoke.
Yeah.
And smells of plastic, which that's just a conspiracy theory too. It's just fires, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know people that have talked about headaches, and I actually have a girlfriend, one of our friends, can't remember her YouTube channel, but she's the soap lady that we have. A friend. Her daughter is up there on the East Coast, and she had horrible headaches also.
What is a pentagram? Oh, I know who this guy is. This is the guy that claimed that I had a pentagram hanging on the wall back here because I had a picture. I had a flag, which I still have it. I just rotate them out, and it's a different set background. but I had the come and get it, the patriotic symbol, come and get it, and it had a star on it. Come and take it.
Yeah.
And it had a star, but it was hanging sideways, and he kept saying, that's a pentagram. I'm like, no, it's not a pentagram. It's a star. It's just hanging sideways. Like, you can't see that it's hanging sideways. It looks, never mind.
That's not a pew pew. That's people doing fireworks.
I think there's someone shooting fireworks somewhere. Probably neighbors down the road. Anyways, yeah, come and take it. That's right. Yeah, so that's what it was. The come and take it flag. If any of you remember that. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on.
Anybody crazy. From Texas remembers that. It's like in every Buc-ee's and every.
Oh, Bruce Frazier's in the house. Our buddy Bruce. I like that guy. Yeah. Can you guys hear that? the property down the road is shooting off fireworks. So if you can.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean.
Okay. And for those of you that have just joined, we apparently have some trolls in the chat room that's probably gonna.
It is part of Texas history.
The Colin guy is asking about Bruce is on the YouTube side, so he's watching on YouTube. For those of you on YouTube, I'm not saying you can't watch me on YouTube, but I would strongly suggest you following me over on Rumble, because at some point YouTube is gonna, they're gonna say goodbye to me. So, uh-oh.
Bye-bye.
Rivkah's getting out the band stick. All right. I try to be nice and try to let people.
Well, because you're super libertarian in that way, like
especially
with your
when
channel.
It's attacks on me personally. Like, I'm okay with someone attacking me personally.
And it's okay if you disagree. You like people to. You like healthy discourse.
I do. I love a good debate.
Right, and you don't want to censor people's opinions. But when you start personally attacking somebody and their family and their faith, I don't know. I think that that's a line.
Yep. And I don't have to answer to anyone. I mean, at least on this planet.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough with that. You had mentioned earlier about wanting to turn people against Joe Biden. Here's a theory. I haven't played it all out. Just something.
No, I mean the whole party. Like, it has to be so bad that we're like, it has to do with the whole blue beam. And
well, now the Biden administration is talking about
just a theory.
Is talking about spraying the clouds.
They're admitting it.
They're admitting to
They're
it
not
now.
Admitting it. They're not saying they did it. They're saying they're entertaining it because they haven't been doing that for a long time. And now we want to do whatever we can to cover the sun to stop global warming.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all saw that,
but here's a thought. What happens? And I know I get it. That, you're going to say, oh, it's not, and it probably isn't going to happen, I'll admit. But I think there is a slim chance. What happens if both Joe Biden and Donald Trump are arrested and thrown in jail, or have such extreme legal problems that it affects both of them, running for office? And it ends up being two completely different people. I mean, looking back, of course, now, most people like Trump and stuff, but if you go back to before 2016, even right up into the Republican primary, most Republicans, he had a small base until he started really catching, some attention, but most people thought it was ridiculous. Like, Donald Trump, everyone knew Donald Trump, Trump Tower and The Apprentice and the Miss Universe or Miss America pageant, whatever. Donald Trump's not going to run he's not going to be the president. That's ridiculous. Ended up being it. And then Biden come around, and he was the lowest polling person of the Democrat Party. And everyone was like, oh my goodness, why is this guy up on stage? Like, as bad as all of these people are running for the Democrat nominee, he is like, makes all of them look good. And then now he's the president. So, Blaine says Newsom and DeSantis. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Newsom and DeSantis, or, and I know this is crazy, Newsom and oh goodness, Trump's VP just slipped my mind. Pence. I wouldn't be surprised Newsom and Pence. And I know Pence is way back there, but he's the third guy pretty much.
Yeah, DeSantis does have strong ties to the WEF.
Yeah, DeSantis has some things, but here's the thing with Pence. As much as no Republican likes him, he's an establishment man. He's more of an establishment man than the others. He's also been in the White House as the VP. And a lot of times with I think what's going to hurt DeSantis, being a governor can help you a lot when you're running for president, because it's the only other major executive political position.
Pence is too weird for me.
Right.
Says.
It's the only other, like a congressman, a senator, all those, they're not executive level, like they're running a whole, government. A governor is. So that's very beneficial to running for president, unless, and here's the thing, the other side is that the bad stuff that the governor did are directly related to him. Whereas if you're a congressman or a senator and something gets passed, even if it's by your party, you can somehow work around, well, I wasn't really supporting that. But if you're the final, pin to sign that bill into law, and while he was definitely a good governor in a lot of ways, there was other things, lockdown stuff. He was promoting pretty heavily on the vaccine. But of course, you've got Trump, who's, heavily promoting that too. Still,
how dare
he
you
still
say
considers
anything like
he still considers him the godfather of it. So remember the fly on Pence's head. I don't know if that means anything. But here's the thing. I'm not saying that I think Pence will be
Hillary and
I'm not saying I think Pence will be the nominee. I'm just saying don't be surprised. He went to meet with Zelensky the other day. He was over in Ukraine meeting with Zelensky. The establishment seems to, and I don't follow the politics much at all. I really don't. As much as my show kind of dances around all the stuff in politics.
Yeah.
I don't. You can ask. I don't.
We are a little black-pilled.
Yeah, I'm very black-pilled.
I say a little.
I'm very black-pilled when it comes to politics.
We.
Yes.
Say we.
We.
Make sure everybody knows it's we are in one accord.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
We don't drive in a court though.
No, I can't hardly fit in those things. I'm too tall. But anyways, I mean, I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised. Just because, stranger things have happened. Like I just said, the last couple of presidential elections, it's never been the one that everyone just thought was going to win it, right? And when I'm talking more about the party nominee,
less about votes and more about what people thought.
Yeah, and I'm really talking about the party nominee. I think the big election is going to be rigged, is already rigged, and they've already figured it out. But
somebody said, so you're not for Trump? I don't think that's an unfair question. We are not for the bans on the bump stocks, right? We're not for 15-minute cities, and
I've said all along
stuff, right?
Ever since Trump's been in office, that he definitely has done some really good things. But I'm also critical of the things that he has done that's bad. I'm not one of these that's just like,
we pay attention.
I love Trump and everything he does is good. He did some things that were not great, that were horrible, and should be held accountable for by his people, by his fans. They should hold him accountable and say, listen, you gotta, you can't do this bump stock thing, this shot in the arm thing. You gotta, he wasn't the best at picking out people to run his departments,
people all around him.
He wasn't really the best at hiring people, but he was really, really good at a lot of other things. So I'm not a Trump hater at all. I'm very fair about, I think we should do that with all of our elected officials. We should hold them accountable. We get a
lot of hate too, because we're critical of RFK Jr. too. Like, I think that you should be critical of anybody that's representing you.
Yeah. I think it's morally wrong. I think as a believer, it's very wrong to put any man up on a pedestal and say, and I'm not saying that you folks listening, I'm not saying that you folks listening, because most of the times that I've talked about this, which I don't a lot, my listeners get it. Some of them are more pro-Trump than others, but they get it. But there are some people out there, there's like billboards. You've probably seen the pictures of the billboards with Trump's picture, and then it'll say something about like, the son, it'll be a scripture quote about my only beloved son. Like there's paintings of Trump like on a cross and things like that, like he's Jesus. That's wrong. And the people, his people, his supporters have to stop that. They have to, not allow that to happen. We should hold all of our leaders, no matter how great they are. I mean, I was a huge fan of
Look,
Ron Paul.
This is it right here. Our soap lady friend.
Yes.
Hello, Grafted and Grace Homestead.
Yeah, hold them to our standard. I was a huge supporter of Ron Paul. He was on this channel just a few months ago. We actually ended up being good friends, which is how I got him on the channel. But I'm still critical of some of the things that, I don't agree with this. And I think we should be I think it's dangerous, especially in politics, when we get to the point
you need to be critical
that
of
we
anybody.
we fall in love with them, and then we get into this point
where
that
they're above reproach, right?
Well, and that we're also supporting him because they're the anti-vote. I support Trump because I hate Biden so much. I'm voting for Biden because I hate Trump so much.
And we agree that definitely gas prices were better, taxes were not as high. I mean, we don't disagree.
Yeah, his economic policies were a million times better than Bidenomics. Way better.
Yeah.
Someone says, do I think his supporters are doing that? I don't know. I mean, I have seen I don't think in mass. I've definitely seen
seen a lot of people, at least in spaces, like some Twitter spaces and on Facebook, but people have become more critical and like begun asking questions like, what does this mean? And why do you support this?
Right.
And
I have seen people personally and through email contacts and stuff that are just, he can do no wrong. And that's a bad place for us to be with any president. If my children have asked, like, who is the best president we ever had? I'm like, well, none of them were that great. They all had flaws. Every single one of them supported certain things that were wrong. I mean, even going back to George Washington, I mean, he violated the Constitution with the Whiskey Rebellion.
I hate the gas pump too. So
so there's no president that's like flawless and spotless, and we can't because that's the exact same thing that our people in England and stuff did, and they still do. They're the king,
he
they're
did
flawless.
Hydroxychloroquine.
Yes, he did.
We aren't saying
I'm not saying he's a bad person.
He did everything wrong.
I'm just saying we should be critical and hold our elected leaders accountable.
Or I think another point, right, is like the anti-vote that you just said. We hate this one so much that we're going to vote here. But I think another point is it's gotten so bad over here. We'll take anything that's better than this.
Yeah.
I think I think fear and all of the commotion and chaos, and I guess trauma, right? Like the constant,
right?
Like every 3 days, it's something new. Everybody freaking out. I mean, I've said this before. When you're in a state of panic or fear and chaos, you don't make smart decisions, and it's hard to be objective. And I think it's also hard to remember what happened 3 days ago when so much happens every 3 days, right? Like,
I got someone in Rumble saying that I must be a Biden man.
You don't know us very well, I guess.
To be honest with you, I'm a no politician man. I just.
You tried that.
Yeah, I think
you tried it on.
Right? I don't think that there's a human being alive, especially in America, that could be elected into office that will turn this around. You don't have to agree with me. You can think I'm totally wrong, but if it were to happen, let's just say Trump gets elected into office and he goes in there like he said he was going to do the last time. He would have to completely dismantle probably 70 to 80% of the United States government. The vast majority of it is completely, corrupt and unconstitutional. Hey, Mike Raw, thank you.
He hates to give the tube money, but he wants to thank us for stepping up.
Thank you for that, brother. But the problem with conservatives, with Republicans, is that they have just like, boy, I'm going to get in trouble here in a minute.
Are you really going to do this?
I'm getting ready to just step right in it. Man, why don't you unsuspend that person you banned earlier? Because they're going to love this one. conservatives and Republicans, I think, have gone down the exact same path as Christians and Bible believers, because in a large part they're kind of sort of the same. There's so much crossover. Is that they over time they keep accepting more and more. They keep accepting less and less standards. They're allowing more and more sin. Go back and read the story and do the research on the Passover in the Old Testament. And the whole point of that, because pretty much every story in the Bible has a physical story to it it's a manifestation of the spiritual, what we're supposed to be doing spiritually. And with that one, it's to get all the yeast, the leavening out of your house,
which is a representation
of sin.
Yeah.
Because when you let a little bit of sin in your life, it grows and grows and grows and grows.
Right.
Conservatives and Christians and believers have done that in this country. You can go to the most conservative Bible believing church today, and I guarantee you they're not going to be as staunch as you would have found 30, 40, 50 years ago in America, because little by little they allow things in. They allow clothing that's a little bit more risque, a little bit more. They just do. Conservatives have done the same thing. And because of that, we've lost so much ground. Conservatives, Republicans are constantly on the defense, while the liberals have been on the offense for almost a century, and they've been fighting and fighting and fighting. And the conservative Republicans have not gone on the offense. I mean, look at now. You've had a year now almost, well, not quite, but of Republicans being in Congress. And what have they done? They keep giving away, and compromising and giving into Joe Biden. All this. They're constantly. I mean, where's all the investigations that they're starting now? They should have immediately on day one started investigations on Joe Biden, all that kind of stuff. They didn't, because they're weak. The Republican Party is absolutely weak. And the conservatives, there's not enough hardened, like battle ready, do or die, ride or die conservatives in America that say, I don't care how good you are. If you don't meet these certain qualifications, I'm not voting for you. What they do is they go in every time because the Republicans know that you'll do this. They know that people will do this. Well, they're not quite pro-life enough for me. They're not quite pro-Second Amendment for me, but they're way better than that Democrat, so I'm going to hold my nose and vote for them. Mm-hmm. You know what you get when you vote for the lesser of two evils? Evil. You get evil. You get evil. And until Bible-believing conservative Americans stand up to that and say, listen, we're not going to allow this kind of garbage and this sin in our lives, whether it's the TV or the internet or the churches or the schoolhouses or the community houses or the White House. We're not going to let it in. And if you don't meet this certain standard, we're turning our back on all of politics, period. Nothing's going to change.
We don't consent. In other words, right?
Yeah, it's not going to change. I know that's a super hardline message, and people are going to say, yeah, but that means that the liberals are going to get in office. Is it really going to be any different than what it's been for the last 3 or 4 decades? The liberals get in, it goes farther to the left. A Republican gets in, and it goes a little bit slower to the left, almost to a complete stop. But we're certainly not going to the right when a Republican gets into office. Government isn't slowing down. You go back to Reagan and before, and every time a Republican gets into office, does government shrink in size? No, it doesn't. It just doesn't grow as fast, but it certainly doesn't shrink in size. So this idea that, well, we just got to elect a better man than what's in there, or a better man than what's on the ballot with the other side, and it'll be all right. No, it's not. It's still evil. It's still evil. It's just like with churches. The reason why the churches have all gone to where is because they keep allowing stuff. They keep allowing, well, we allow this in. Well, we'll allow this word in. We'll allow this behavior in. We'll say that that's okay. We'll look the other way on this. Mm-hmm. And then you have, a big old world church. This big old, Jesus is just about love. That's all he's about. He's just about love. That's all we're supposed to do. We're just supposed to ask him to forgive us and just be lovey. And then we're good people. We're just going to be good people. That's not what the Bible says. But yet churches nowadays, it's ridiculous. I'll get off my soapbox. But Until last week, I gave you high credibility with your gear, thinking you were ex-military. It's now a stolen valor. How is it stolen valor? I have never.
I wanted to
I've
address
said
this
many,
real
many
quick.
times that I'm not.
He is
that
not military.
I've said that
he is not
I'm
military.
former law enforcement, but I'm never military, and I've said that many times. Man, the trolls are out thick tonight, accusing me of stolen valor, and I've never once said it. I don't have any even military gear. All the stuff that I have is just civilian stuff that you buy. Good gracious, people.
Yeah, they want to fill the seats.
Someone says dead air.
Oh, we were reading.
Oh, I don't know.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for
Stop. No, he's never ever served in the military.
I've never ever claimed to serve in the military, and I have if you go back and watch any of my videos, I've said many in fact, just the other day I was making a video on tactical stuff, and I said, I didn't serve. I've made that very clear. That's weird.
A lot of people ruck, right? Because it's good training and it's good for health. I mean, people put weights on their ankles, and you just happen to like a lot of earthy colors, but you don't buy even military grade shirts and pants. And I mean, that's not.
Now, my pants are better than military.
You don't walk around looking like a military person. I mean, your ruck is a ruck, and that's it. Like, a lot of people do that.
Oh, goodness. Fun stuff tonight, man. It's attack
Thank you
Travis.
For your YouTube service.
It's attack Travis.
Black flag.
My goodness. It's all right. Got thick skin. I think it's kind of funny.
The internet thinks anyone's knowledge of weapons was in the military.
Yeah.
They cannot wrap their minds around just being able to learn things.
Right.
And you did have special training, but it wasn't.
I've trained with the military, like as a law enforcement. I've done, training, but not in the military. We just,
under military training.
Yeah.
And we have friends. So,
well, one of my buddies was on the channel last year, and this guy is bona fide. I've seen his paperwork. I know he's legit, like special operations legit. And people were like, oh, he's such a stolen valor, blah, 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 blah. Like, whatever, people. I mean, and they're like, oh, show your paperwork. Yeah, he's going to just put it up on camera so you can see. It's just ridiculous.
No, we don't. No, I feel like there's this internet thing where people feel like because you're online, you owe us anything. And it just like,
this is not where I wanted this.
You would never, ever, ever ask somebody in person to see their papers. I mean, I dare you. Like, go ahead. I want to see your papers. Yeah. Like, that's just not a thing. Yeah. Supposedly, Biden is dead about 2 hours ago. There's a rumor.
Really?
I've not heard it yet. No.
Man. Thank you. The t-shirt. Well, actually, both
of our t-shirts come from
Sanctified Supply Company.
It says Sanctified Supply.
You do sanctifiedsupplyco.com. Those are some friends of ours.
Good friends.
Yeah,
good people.
Very good friends.
They're good friends of our Moose Run people.
Yeah, they're our peoples.
We got a little tribe.
So apparently this guy thinks because I have military gear, that even though it's not military gear, it's just gear, and that I train and stuff, that I'm stolen valor. Is that it?
Yeah, he said, I thought that you, because of the way you dressed and rucked and everything, that
well,
you
none of my stuff
military.
is military gear. That the vest that I wear is a Tigress One vest. That's not military issue at all.
It is full moon-ish, isn't it? Isn't it a full moon tonight? Somebody said full moon.
I don't know.
The crazies.
I think it's in a few days.
No, I heard it was like the raspberry full moon tonight or something. Maybe it's not tonight, but yeah, it feels like. It feels like a full moon. I
can't think of any gear that I have that is military issued gear.
I used to wait tables, and the servers, all the servers. We used to joke, it's full moon. You can tell, like, is it a full moon tonight? And we'd look, and sure enough, it was, because people just go a little woo-hoo.
Yeah, I don't even wear like camouflage military pants. So I'm more of a tan khaki guy. So
I don't know how many inches the shofar is. Somebody said, how long is it? I bought it for him as a gift.
I'm attached, so that's what. Oh man, I'm about knocking things over.
Wasn't that your birthday or
this is a good
some
24-inch.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's a good 2-footer.
Maybe it was for Sukkot. Did I get that for you for Sukkot?
I think so. I'm trying to not to knock it down or something.
It's a pretty one.
Yeah. So there.
I don't remember.
That's a military horn. That's right. Stolen valor.
Military in biblical times, probably. They used to carry historically, they used to carry the little ones in their pockets.
Yeah.
To sound
We've got
great
a bunch.
and terrible.
The boys have little ones that they use and play with. Well,
somebody says, I taught school also, but at private school. I taught school for 30 years. The full moon really does bring out the...
Oh, is Luke and Chelsea in the house? Oh, well, so is our Serenity Asylum Acres. These are some of our people in real life are on here. So, yeah, I have a military beard. My glasses are almost like military issue, but they're not.
You mean they didn't make you shave it off?
Yeah. Or
cut it off, trim it off, whatever.
It may be longer than 20. I don't think it's a 3-foot. It's 24 to 28 inches. I've never measured it.
I think it's 28. It's 26 to 28.
26, 28.
I couldn't remember which
right.
one.
I don't even have military MREs. Those things are nasty. And none of my gear is military gear, mostly because you can buy better than that.
Jason Merrifield says, hey, I'm real life people. I'm just laughing at the trolls.
You know what they say with like military spec gear? That just means it's what was sold, what was from the lowest bidder. So I know that's a joke, but so the swamp and the swamp donkey swamp. Yeah, Edward, you're right. It's a messed up thing with the politics, and it has been that way for a long, long time. This is the whole politics is nothing new. I personally think what is happening, not just in politics, but with just everything in our society, is that the forces behind all this, they feel that they have such a bold control, a hard control over everything, that they can be out in the open. You know, the corruption, all this kind of stuff. This has been going on for years. I mean, there's hardly a more corrupt presidency than Bill Clinton's presidency. You all know that. You're old enough to know it. But it's being done out in public now. Now they're not afraid to just be what they are and show their hand, because I think that they feel emboldened enough, that they feel that they have enough power, and that could be their weakness. But I've said this many times, and this is an if, I'm not saying we are, if we are getting into those biblical end times, you know, if we are living in that days of Noah time period where we could potentially see it in our lifetime, and maybe that's really soon. I know some people believe it's really soon, some people believe it, but if we are, and then I know that's an if, then I don't think we're going to see things get better, because it doesn't talk about that in the Bible.
If you truly believe that that's where we are in any kind of timeline, then you can't be holding out for things to get better.
Right. Now, you know, it could be hundreds of years away and stuff, but
famine worse than the world has ever seen.
Yeah.
Like ever.
Got a lot of people with the MREs. MRE is meals rejected by Ethiopians. Someone
immorality.
Else meals refusing to exit.
So immorality is at an all-time high, as in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
I would imagine that it was probably that high too for God to have repented from making humans. I mean, I just can't imagine that. And then look, I mean, Noah was alive when the flood happened, and he was alive just a few generations later when the tower went up.
Yeah.
That is the days of Noah. I said Noah. Noah.
Yeah. A lot of people think the days of Noah meant just before the flood, but there's nothing that says that. The days of Noah would be the time period between his birth and death. And if you do the research and figure
he
out
was still alive
how
when
long
that
he lived afterwards.
How sad do you think that must have made him?
Yeah.
I mean, like, to have witnessed the whole world.
Yeah, he watched everyone he knew other than his immediate family die. He watched all the planet be destroyed only to come back just as wicked as before.
And the Tower of Babel was in an effort. I feel like it's a little bit like the collider. What do you call it? The Large Hadron. What's
Collider.
CERN.
Yeah, CERN.
I think that's a little bit Tower of Babel-y. Like, I feel like, you can create and destroy universes and open realms and stuff. I feel like we're trying, humans, not we. Obviously, you and I don't have access to that kind of technology. But, they're trying.
People don't know about my collider in the backyard I've got going. Now someone will say that I am doing witchcraft with my black painted walls and my collider in the backyard.
I can't. Your collider. Because everyone has one of those, right?
Yeah.
But I just think that it's an indicator that, I mean, we are in those. I don't know. I don't remember it. I mean, obviously it was bad when Paul was talking to the people and saying, you're dressing like men and you're dressing like women. I mean, that was going on even then, right? Like, which makes me wonder if things happen in cycles, because time is kind of a circle, whatever.
Right.
But I just think that the indicator that it will be as in the days of Noah, I don't know. I feel like we're kind of, I mean, I'm not trying to say that we're there, but we are there. It is very much like we are at that point, like where I feel like we are replicating or mirroring the days of Noah. And
whether or not we are, we're supposed to live ready for the moment.
Yeah, you're supposed to keep oil in your lamps.
Oil in your lamps.
Get like ready. Sorry, I didn't mean to smack in y'all's ear. I have that thing, Misophonia. If you have that, I'm so sorry. I just heard that. Did you hear it?
Yes,
really
I did.
Bad? I'm sorry. I'm gonna come back here to do that. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't remember.
Well, keeping your oil in your lamp.
Oh yeah. I think the Virgin.
I'm not military. I just play one on Saturday nights
with his Large Hadron Collider.
That's right.
Let's see how ridiculous we can make this tonight.
Someone says, "Thank you. Show us gear that might be more affordable." I try. I try to put my gear, and it's mostly because I don't have the money. I mean, I've watched probably a lot of the same channels and stuff that a lot of you watch. These guys that obviously have money, right? They have $1,500 rifles here and there and everywhere, and silencers, and they pay for SBRs,
and not that there's anything wrong.
Nothing wrong with that. They have high end gear, the night vision, all that kind of stuff.
But you really try to focus on what the average person can afford, because you know what that's like.
Yeah, I try to find stuff that is as best quality as I can afford, and then show it to you. That chest rig that I wear when I go walking, it was, I don't know, I think it's $50 or $60 chest rig maybe. And it's considered kind of in the middle when it comes to quality, I think, from what I've heard with the reviews. But I wear it all the time. I wear it walking. I've done actual stuff in the woods, on the ground and stuff, and it's held up. It's not ripped. It's not falling apart. So would it last a 10-year war? Probably not. But would it last to do your stuff? I think so. It's done good for me. So that's what. And someone says Canic. Of course, Canics. That's my thing.
Did you see me get excited?
I know, but I'm not wearing a Canic tonight. I'm wearing a Glock tonight.
I want the baby one.
Yeah, because I have a Glock that I never use, and I was afraid it was feeling lonely.
Oh yeah. Are you?
It was being neglected. It was there on the shelf, and it hadn't been touched in
when I was a little
long
girl,
time.
I used to have my stuffed animals on my bed, and I'd think, oh, this one is feeling so lonely. And
I found a holster. I can't show you. I'll show you sometime. It's a outside the waistband holster, and it's like Gadsden flag on it and everything. And it was super cheap. It was on sale for Father's Day. And I'm like, oh, I'll get that, because I don't really have a holster like that for the Glock. And I haven't worn the Glock in like 2 years because I have this Canic and I love it. And so around the house, I gotta pay the Glock a little attention. So But there are ways, and I even said, I think I said the other day in a video, and I'm actually, well, I'm going to go ahead and mention it because I wanted to plug them tonight anyways. So if you're wanting to get actual real military training, not from people like me that haven't been in the military, but real military training, a good friend of mine has a business. It's called ironsurvival.com. I'm not getting any money to say this, but it's a good guy and a good business. So I want to plug it. And you can do online training courses. Now, of course, it's not going to be as good as in person, but he's done it in a way to make it as good as you can get online. And it's actually really cheap. In fact, I think he needs to increase his prices. I don't think he's charging enough for what he's doing. But it's like $40, $45, $50 a course. And you can do like CQB, home defense, rural property defense, things like that. That you can get. And so I've been talking with him. We're probably going to do some content together. But the point is that you don't have to be a high-speed operator. In fact, probably the majority of you that are listening that are vets weren't, and this isn't putting you down, weren't special forces, Delta Force, Navy SEALs. And the internet has become really popularizing that a lot. All of these YouTube channels, it's constantly of all these guys that are ex-Navy SEALs, ex-Green Berets, ex-Delta Force, ex-Rangers. And please, I'm not putting any of them down. These guys are the creme de la creme. They're really good. But I think the reverse side of that is that regular people watch this and they see these videos and it's really cool. And they're like, I'm never going to be that good.
It seems inaccessible.
Right. I'm never going to be an operator. So why should I even try? Like, and when the apocalypse happens and it's just me and my family on the farm.
And then like the trainings are ridiculously expensive.
They're
so
expensive,
again, out of reach because you're not ever going to be that way.
Right. And their skill level is quite up there. So for like the regular person, and again, I'm not putting anyone down. We're just being honest. And sometimes I'm a little blunt, but it's just truth. The average homesteader, the average person, their skill level with firearms is fairly low. They may go hunting. They may know a little bit of stuff that they've put out, that they've watched and they've trained, but the average person's skill level is pretty low. And, to think that you can watch some SEAL Team 6 Dev Gru or some CAG guy or whatever, run high speed on the range, it doesn't mean that you're going to be that way. But on the flip side, it doesn't mean that you should even try to be that way. There are ways that you can learn enough to protect yourself. And so that's some of the content that I'm trying to do and working with a couple of different friends. One is this ironsurvival.com. And then I've got a couple other buddies that were also special operations in different areas of special operations. And so we're trying to come up with some content that's takes portions out of those high speed, high level training, but breaks it down for just the common people that you can watch a 15-20 minute video. And yeah, you're not going to be an operator, but you may have a little bit better knowledge of how to defend your home and give you something that you can practice with and, that kind of stuff. Because, you're not going to be. I mean, these guys, they spend years and many, many hours and millions of dollars. I can't remember the last time I looked at what it costs to train like a Green Beret or a Ranger. It's millions of dollars. You're never going to get that way. You're just not. But that doesn't mean that you should just give up and say, well, I guess I'm just dead when it all hits the fan. You do the best you can, you practice and know and hope that the vast majority of the bad guys out there are probably also not going to be the highly trained operators.
But then the other thing is it puts you a cut above the average. I mean, several cuts above the average person.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, but just because you know how to handle a weapon and reload, I mean, that by itself, you'd be surprised. That's all I'm
Navy
saying.
SEALs. Yeah, the guy that was my firearms instructor in an academy had been a Navy SEAL. He was insane. It was just.
I have a friend who works
absurd
for
how good he was at firearms.
Who was a SEAL. Yeah, like they're. Oh, it's not ICE anymore. What's it called now? I forget.
Yeah, it's
But he used like it used to be ice, and he was a Navy SEAL before that.
Mm-hmm.
And he would, I mean, that's like some serious hardcore training.
But they shoot thousands and thousands of rounds in a week. Like every week they shoot thousands of rounds. Yes. I mean, you would have to buy ammunition by the pallet load, you know, more than once to shoot enough to get to that level of quality. And I wonder sometimes how many people, the average prepper kind of gets a little discouraged because, wow, I'm not that good. You know, I want to be like this operator. I want to be super cool door kicker. Well, just face the reality. We're not going to be that good, but we can definitely improve ourselves and get better skilled at it and learn things. And so some of the people I've been talking with, that's what I'm trying to come up with for future dates.
So your friends, this is the same person, need their own channel, not an Amazon military gear warrior. I don't know if you're trying to offend like this right here. I don't know what, like, if you want to say something, just come out and say it. We are going to be talking with the friends.
Military gear warrior.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone I'm speaking of that has any kind of Amazon gear.
Oh no, babe, he's talking about you.
Oh, me? Mm-hmm. I don't even have Amazon links, so I don't know what he's talking to Amazon gear warrior.
I just think that you guys, like, it's the same person. Just stop, like, go somewhere else. Silly. But maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, here's how I look at it. This is my grandfather, who is one of the greatest men I've ever known in my life. He was nothing. You'll not find anything about him online. He was a very poor man. He devoted his entire life to helping other people. Literally died remodeling an old country church.
That's like my favorite family. Like Travis has a lot of stories, right? And your grandpa was a character.
He was he was a character.
He has so many stories. But this is my favorite story.
Yeah.
He died.
He was a World War II and Korean War vet. Retired from the Navy. Did a lot of work, you know, different jobs, eventually became a preacher, and he found an old country church, like Little House on the Prairie style country church, abandoned out in the woods in the middle of nowhere, just boarded up. He tracked down who owned the property, and they said, sure, if you want to open it up, you can. And little by little, he remodeled that church.
Oh, he says, I appreciate you, Travis. My apologies.
Oh, okay.
I misunderstood that.
Okay.
I apologize.
And anyway,
I can admit when I'm wrong.
That's right.
I'm not a normal person.
I know.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt
you. He remodeled this church with his own money, never made any money off of it. He literally died putting the last board up. Literally had a heart attack, died from putting the last board up on the church. And a lot of people in my family really resented that church because they never paid him anything. They never really did anything to help him. He did it all on his own. It was just like 4 or 5 families that was going. And my family, a lot of them resented that church. And several years actually, after my grandfather died, I went back to that church just to see if it was still around. And you got to remember, it was a one room. They didn't even have no water inside. They had outside toilets. Very, very old fashioned. And I pulled up, and it was a very large church. They had kept the original building, but added on and had a big gymnasium and family center and church, you know, Sunday school rooms. And that church had grown and grown because of what my grandfather did. So yeah, anyways, the point that I was getting at is that my grandfather told me once that, you know, when you're being attacked, you know, you must be doing something right. And I'm telling you, here lately, I've gotten some nasty emails here lately. Not really life-threatening, although I have had those in the past and even received actual death threats in the snail mail, so in the post office box. Haven't had that happen in a while.
That was actually, I'm glad we didn't talk about it openly because we don't want to give that any whatever.
Yeah,
but
I didn't talk about it at the time.
That was because you weren't extreme enough.
He sent me a death threat letter with some white powder in it, telling me that I was bad because I wasn't extreme enough, that I wasn't teaching people online how to do bad things to the government. I'm like,
yeah, people that do these kinds of things, I mean, talk about the kinds of things that you talk about, my husband talks about. You don't understand the kinds of stuff that people say. I mean, people behind a screen will say just about anything.
Because they're cowards.
Yes.
I'm not saying you people are cowards.
No, but if you've got something to say, I mean, we've really put ourselves out there, right? Like, I mean, that's just a lot of faith. We're walking in a lot of faith.
And we don't do it all the time.
If you have something to say, can you not just come and chat about it? Can we not just be civil and normal? I don't know. Is it too much to ask for people to not be weirdos?
Yeah. We don't do it a lot because it's just a little too much overwhelming because we're so busy, but we do occasionally meet with people, you know, if they're coming through town or they just want to meet with us. Just moved here. And we're talking total strangers. We meet with those kinds of
people more often than others. I mean, if people come through, but like people that are just moving here,
or wanting to move here, they're coming here to look at property, and they're like, hey, can we buy you lunch, or can we have coffee and talk to you? We've done that many times. Yep.
Somebody says, don't mess with Mr. Crunch Crunch.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so I have a couple of things.
All right, and then we got to get off here. All right. I'm tired.
So real quick, I'm going to read all three and then we can answer them in the order. I thought we would go in this order. So somebody asked about your opinions on night vision goggles, and somebody else responded that I think parameter sensors are a far better use of your money and better than night vision. I wanted you to express your take on both of those things because night vision can be expensive. Right. I get it. And then somebody asked about if you've talked about the severe weather patterns, and we have not yet.
Not recently.
Not in this chat.
Oh, not in this chat, no.
And then the fires in conjunction with that. So
all right. So we'll start off with the night vision stuff. Excuse me. I think night vision goggles have a place. I don't own them. I wish I did. I wish I had the money. They're expensive. I mean, on the low end for a good quality, and it's certainly not military grade, but on the low end of good quality night vision. And when I'm saying night vision goggles, I'm talking about something that, you know, you attach to the helmet, that kind of thing. You see all the operators wearing. You're not going to find it hardly less than $2,500, maybe $2,000. And that's on the very low end. It's nothing to pay $5,000 to $15,000 for a set of those. A little monocular, a good one, could run $500 to $1,000 for a good one. But that's just something you stick in your pocket. Now, you can buy cheap Chinese stuff. I know I'm going to get some haters here. On like Amazon, here I am, Amazon stuff, but on Amazon for anywhere between $100 and $300.
Amazon is not something that you advocate or promote all the time, but for tactical or for advantage or whatever.
I used to do Amazon affiliates. I took them all off because I'm not encouraging people to go to Amazon. But anyways, these cheap ones are cheap. They're probably not going to last. They're in a lot of ways, they're kind of junky. On the flip side, I have played around with a few of them. And while I certainly wouldn't expect them to function great in a heated battle, they've done the job. I mean, I had a pair out here that was less than $100, and I could see very clearly at night across my field. I could see into the tree line pretty clearly. So could I have used them to see if there was someone out there, if there was a bad guy? Yeah. I mean, are they as good as the $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 ones that you're clearing a house with? No, of course not. Not even close.
But it's better than being in the dark, right?
Right. But there's night vision. There's thermals. Thermals is probably the better way to go than night vision. But you're also getting into more expensive with thermal. But there are, if you can find something that you can afford, I would not get it. But that's also not necessarily the number one thing. Perimeter sensors, I think are very highly recommended, especially if you live out in the country, and they're not that expensive. You can get a perimeter sensor that, in fact, I'm going to show you one. I just happen to have a receiver right here on the table. This is a company that, there we go. This is a receiver, and then you can get sensors. So this thing, it runs off of batteries, or you can plug it into power cord. Okay. And there, I turned it on. And then you've got 4 zones. And on each one of those zones, you can hook as many sensors as you want up to it. You could have 100 sensors on each one of those zones. And each one of those zones have a different tone. Okay. And the sensors themselves are solar powered. So they work outside. You can set them up all over. And depending on the one that you get, depending on the terrain and the trees, you can get anywhere between a quarter and possibly up to half-mile range, meaning that the sensor can be up to quarter to half-mile away from this and still read.
Someone says that they're timber wolf will let people know when somebody's within a 100-mile perimeter.
Yeah, yeah. So, and these are not expensive. One of these,
real dog.
Yeah, this setup, a receiver, and then 2 sensors is like $100. And so I definitely I recommend our local people I have before to all get those.
And while what you're talking about is good, having a guard dog is also
guard dog's good. Yes. Yes.
Very,
and
very
there's not really
and
one
if you have a
thing.
timber wolf, I can't say anybody would want to.
I've been telling her I want to get a pet bear as a defense.
No, what's the other one?
Or a mountain lion.
No, the other one, the dog.
I want to get a
cane, right? King Corset, right? No, not that one.
I don't remember.
The really big one.
They're big old monster dogs. Because I'm silly and I don't remember. Kangal? Yeah, Kangal.
Yeah, the Kangal. Yeah,
Kangal. That's what I was telling her. I want to get a Kangal.
And a bear. He says he wants to be like the Russians because they're pretty hardcore.
Hey, I'm not saying all Russians are great and pro Russia, but they're pretty cool because
they are known for being pretty tough.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. You think about weather patterns. I think the weather patterns, man.
Did you talk about the severe weather patterns?
I haven't talked about the severe weather patterns today or the fires. The fires still are going, but the fires in Canada, they're not going to stop until this winter. I did hear from a guy, he wasn't necessarily there, but he was a wildland fighter and he's worked up in that area. And I think he had been or something like that, but he's very familiar with those, what's the term? Ethereal forests? Is that the ethereal forests where there's just, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles of untouched forest.
Oh yeah.
He said, they're not going to put that fire out. All they're doing is trying their best to keep it away from, civilian structures or that kind of stuff, but they're not going to put that fire out. That kind of stuff happens up in Siberia and it will burn out when the winter snow gets there. So that fire in Canada most likely will not be put out until the winter snow happens. As far as, and is there other things going on there? Because there's been a lot of weirdness with like smells, like people smelling like rubber burning.
Not just that, but I saw the monitors, like these little monitors that were reading like formaldehyde in the air. I don't know about that.
Now burning organic matter will produce formaldehyde. So that's possibly
But see, a lot
normal.
of people are saying that it smells like burnt rubber and plastic.
Yeah, seeing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the weather patterns, I think that there's probably a mixture of governments manipulating the weather and the weather patterns are changing because that's the times that we're living in. I think that we are moving into a potential solar stuff and pole shift and all that kind of stuff. And I think that probably is going to coincide with the end time stuff. If you read some of those prophecies, it sounds like a lot of the stuff they're talking about for pole shifting and things like that. So it's HARP and cloud seeding and all that kind of stuff.
Look up Popeye. It's a government thing.
Yeah, Operation
that's the clouds,
Popeye.
Yeah,
Operation Popeye.
But there was did you see what Dutch Sense posted today?
Not today, no. I haven't.
I saw it before we started. He said something about all of the major weather patterns, the severe weather patterns, is coming from like radio signals, and that there's a lot of scientists that are saying
I've seen some of his work in the past where he shows some pretty good evidence of that.
And he's not talking about just like the radio, like this, your phone, microwaves, direct energy weapons, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have a look at that.
Yep.
I just thought it was interesting that he just posted that.
Yeah.
Today, I think.
Well, there's no cloud seeding in Tulsa. Someone said. I don't know.
I think that they're saying it's not raining.
Been to Tulsa in a long
The cloud seeding is to see if we can get it to rain there. So like
Well, spraying, not necessarily just cloud seeding, but all
No,
the
that was
spraying.
what it was called when it started.
Yeah.
And it was an openly
chemtrails.
practiced
I said another
operation,
bad
right?
word, that chemtrail word.
You're you need a tinfoil hat for real.
I know, I do. I'm going to make me one. I'm going to get on here one day with a tinfoil hat.
How many things have come out in the last 3 years where they're like, oh, that one's true? Like,
oh, I know.
It's like conspiracy theory bingo.
Yeah, there was one the other day, a guy that had been a worker at the Wuhan lab came out and said that, in fact, he had evidence that it was a weaponized, purposeful release by China. Who knows?
Somebody said, are you sleepy?
Me?
Yeah, I am.
I'm a little sleepy, but mostly I'm just tired sitting here. You know, it's been sitting here for about 2 hours. We've been doing this for an hour and a half, but I was sitting here for at least a half hour ahead of time getting it set up. So I'm just ready to call it a night.
I was doing
beautifying yourself. I know. Me, I just make sure I have a somewhat clean t-shirt on. That's it. You know,
it's nice being a guy.
It's only 2 or 3 days old. It's good enough still.
Stop. That's not true. You sound like our teenage boy.
Both of them. The teenage and the 10-year-old. Anyways. All right. Well, it's been a lovely evening for you.
Somebody said earlier, real quick, that after the rain, they came out and there was a double rainbow.
Oh,
and I just wanted to say thanks for sharing that, because that was way
Plus
earlier.
The first day after the fake rainbow month.
Yeah. I think a double, like, that was a sign that I got. I felt like when I had twins.
Yeah.
And, well, I didn't feel like that. I did receive a picture, or not a picture, an actual double rainbow, and I was thoroughly convinced I was going to be blessed with twins, and sure enough I was. But more than that is his promise. Do you remember the song Restore the Rainbow? Isn't that what it's called? Reclaim the Rainbow. Y'all should look that up.
Hold on just a second. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, it is the end.
It's the end
of the show.
Yeah.
Somebody said, shoot, just got here. Time for the end. We have a viewer friend. She watches us, but she's a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you know what I'm about to say. Our whole, tell them what our office smells like, what the studio smells like.
It smells like garlic in here right now. Very strong garlic.
She blessed us with a whole box full, so we'll have it for fall. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, it smells like we're making pizza sauce in here. Wow,
there's some nasty people over at the Rumble side.
What's going on over there?
Just people being really super ultra trolls on the Rumble side. And for some reason, my phone is messing up and I can't block or remove them. Or the comments or nothing. No, you don't want to see these comments. Why do people have to be that way? I don't understand it. People are just don't understand it. Like, even if what you say is true or not.
Like if we watch a lot of stuff that we don't like, not watch, but we've seen stuff obviously in our lifetime that we don't agree with, and we just typically scroll along, like move on.
Yeah.
Garlic is good for your health. Garlic is one of the most powerful natural antibiotics, and it's a blood purifier.
I'm still here, folks.
He's handling the Rumble side.
Wow. Bunch of people just decided to. Yikes. That's some pretty foul stuff going on over here. Hold on, folks. Because if I don't catch it now and like completely ban them,
there are fireworks.
Yeah. All right. I think I got them all banned. If I missed some.
German cucumber salad tonight with garden goodies. Waiting for it to get nice and cold now.
Very inappropriate language that was being used there. Directed mostly towards me and, well, you.
Yeah. I gathered that when you said you don't want to see this.
Yeah. All right. If I missed anyone on Rumble, for those of you in Rumble, let me know. I think I got them. All right. Choctaw 2 Sticks, thank you very much for that. You're amazing. Sorry, but just trying to... It's been a night. You know, it's been a long time since we've had a whole bunch of trolls on the live stream.
Somebody mentioned earlier, do you know where the word lunatics comes from?
The lunatics, yeah. It's been a while since we've had a bunch of crazy... Oh, don't worry about your language towards the trolls. I was talking about...
The language used probably toward me, I'm guessing.
No, well, some of it, no, it was very inappropriate stuff. All right.
So Lauren
Augstein
says, this reminds me of the folks accusing, do you remember when they used to accuse you of using a green
my goodness, or a fake beard.
Yes,
fake beard.
I mean, and they were on about this. Like they would go on and on. And
I actually got some serious emails about how I was such a fake that I didn't have enough guts, enough courage to get on the camera without my fake beard. I'm like, I've had this beard for over a decade. it's as real as you can get.
No, don't do that. Be nice to your beard. It's totally real.
It's very real. Anyway.
And it's not even all black. It just looks like that because the light doesn't pick up on the flecks. Tell them you have some.
Well, yeah, it's funny because this is like a warm light and it looks all black, but trust me, it's not.
There's some white flecks.
Yeah, trim my fake beard.
That's fake news.
Fake news.
Yeah, it is.
It is. All right, folks. I'm tired. I'm ready to get off here. I've dealt with the crazy ones tonight. Whew. I've gone from being a wicked, all kinds of stuff, just fakes, all kinds of fun stuff. Good. Anyways, you folks are amazing. We love you all. For you local folks,
your support.
Our next meeting is July 30th. For the local folks, July 30th. If you're looking for coffee, go to mooseruncoffee.com. Use the discount code TPH23 and you'll get 10% off. If you're wanting to do learning some tactical defense skills in your own home, go to ironsurvival.com and you can certainly learn some stuff. He has some online courses. This guy is a very, very highly qualified vet, very qualified vet.
Is he going to be making some content over on?
We're going to do some
locals?
Content. Yeah, we're going to do some content together.
So if you haven't signed up for that, go ahead and do that too.
Yeah, we're going to do some stuff there. Busted break on Rumble. Thank you very much. Says, can you teach me how to grow a beard? I don't know. The thing is you just got to let it grow. And even when it starts growing out, it's going to look patchy. And it's like it takes it a while for it to really thicken up if you've never grown a beard. Because like when I first started growing, I had little areas in here that were not too thick, and then it just takes a while and then it'll all start growing in. It just is. And I didn't have a really good thick beard until I was about 30. I mean, I started shaving when I was 11 or 12, literally. I had enough to shave, but it wasn't.
It was when you were born.
Tell the truth. That's right. I came out with a full beard. And
we're kidding, but you did come out much larger than most children. Yeah. And a full head of hair.
All right.
His mom says that he came out. What did she say? Doing something adult.
Oh, like she always said that, they didn't pass out cigars when I was born. I came out smoking one.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, because he was a big boy.
Yeah.
And lots
almost 12 pounds. All right, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you all very much. You're amazing. We will catch you probably next Saturday night, Lord willing, the creek don't rise. And then tomorrow, if you want to watch our more exclusive live stream, we'll be on Locals, which we do an afternoon live stream on Locals around 4-ish. So if you want to be part of that community, go over to thepreparedhomestead.locals.com to sign up. It's free to sign up. It's $3 a month to get the exclusive member side content. So you get some content for free, but the really good stuff, it's a little bit more. Thank you all for watching, folks.
We appreciate
you. We'll catch you in the next video.
Good night.
Hit the right button here.